Hi everyone, this is Carmen Zella and Petra Cortright. We're here a little late, but here to have a conversation about LUMINEX, Petra, and just introduce everybody to Petra's work, and I'm really excited about this conversation.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is going to be great. So thank you everybody for being patient. Yeah, I'm just going to adjust the camera. Oh, there's a bunch of waves, so we can wave back. Hi, people. So I'm in their amazing studio. Well, yes. Mark's studio and Petra's studio.
Yes. Well, I have an office upstairs, but the baby's asleep, so we're in here.
Yeah, so Petra is an incredible artist, but also a new mother. And I think I'm really excited to have this conversation because I feel like, you know, as an artist, you are like just bringing in so much information into the piece that you're going to be framing for LUMINEX. And it has like a lot of segues with your, you know, motherhood. It's your second child. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is, when we first started talking about this, I told you early on that there was some Chronicles of Narnia references. I read a lot of children's books, obviously, with the boys. So
yeah.
There's like a specific reference to the Sea of Flowers. So like that is kind of an aesthetic that's in the film. And yeah, I mean, it's just I've been working on this project in like very sleep deprived fragments that almost like added a surreal level to it, and I think it kind of helped actually. So
yeah. I wanted to back up a little bit and in like introducing yourself to everybody as well, like you as an artist, and also like just kind of like frame out your association and interest in public art as like a medium, because you're predominantly like known as a filmmaker, a painter. Can you sort of talk a little bit about your association with public art? And
I think the association is that I've posted things on the internet for the last 20 years, so it's kind of like just very active since I was 15, and that's always been a public platform to me, and it's always been put out there for people to see, kind of like at times with not a lot of information or like not in an art context. I mean, when I first started putting up videos on YouTube, there was very like vague and like odd descriptions of things. It wasn't like, this is a art blah, blah, you know, it was just nothing, like no information. So yeah, I've always viewed the internet as like a public forum for art, and maybe kind of like placing it in unexpected ways or unexpected places, or putting things where they maybe are not supposed to be.
Did you get like people commenting on it, or like create like all of these really interesting exchanges? Can you tell us a little bit about it, because that's fun?
Yes, I mean, people used to say a lot of like, I don't do it I have a policy online, or I have a policy now that I'm a mother, that I don't fight online with people because it's unbecoming.
Yeah.
But I used to, whatever someone would say back, because as a woman online, you get a lot of really nasty comments. And I used to do a lot of video work with me in them. Not as much anymore. And the video for LUMINEX is like a landscape video, like very neutral. Like you can't really talk trash about a landscape video. I mean, I guess people can try, but sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Take your best shot. But the ones with me in them, like, you know, of course you're gonna get nasty comments. So my policy was to reply equal to or worse than what they had said to me.
Oh wow.
So
oh wow.
Because I actually like talking trash on the internet. So but yeah, that's the kind of stuff this was like, you know, 2007, 8, 9, 10, you'll get banned for the language now that I used to use. But,
yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So tell me a little bit about like, you know, working in this medium, because is this going to be your first time in sort of like projecting a work on a building or projecting work outside, or?
I feel like yes, outdoors, yes, and on such a large scale, yes. I mean, it's something that really attracted me to the project. I just think it's aesthetically just such a beautiful moment, like within the setting of downtown LA. So I think all the I did this thing in Chicago in, I want to say 2019, which was called Art on the Mart. I don't know if you so I did that.
Uh-huh.
And that was and that projection was huge, and it was so I've done that. But it was, the side of that building was, it was almost so huge. I mean, I think it looked really cool at the end of the day, but it was so huge. It was like very and like the video specs for it were extremely.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's actually like a screen, right? Is it an LED screen or is it a projection?
Oh, it's on the side of this huge building, but there's so many windows. You have to. I think there's just a lot more like LUMINEX is really nice because I think there's a lot more smooth, just like blank space. Not that Art on the Mart isn't nice.
Yeah.
But I think there was just more. It's just a different kind of projection. And the projection for that had to be super graphic. Like the video we had to really almost like over saturate colors and everything in it, like for the building. But this is like, the video that I'm making for this is like, it looks good on the screen and on the projection. But that one was almost, you had to like, it was super, super site specific for that building.
Right, because it had all of the window cutouts and everything, so it was made for that, Yeah. And so talk to me a little bit about like the piece, because you mentioned that it's like based on Narnia, but some of the things that we've had conversations about, which I've really taken away, is this element of, thinking about the audience that's going to be coming to LUMINEX, and also the urban landscape. Like, what was it about the surrealist part of it that, got you excited? Like, what about the content that you were developing got you excited when you think about like where it's going to be positioned?
Well, I mean, I know it is in an urban setting in downtown LA, but we are in California, so I just kind of like to do something, simple, like for the region that we're in, basically. And another reference was there's a scene in the film that's like, the reference is like the Channel Islands off of Santa Barbara, where I'm from. And my friend James Wibble, who made the music for it, he also had a similar reference too, which was really nice that we both kind of came to that like individually, and then it just worked out that we could have it be for the project. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just like a nice thing to.
Because the actual building site that you're on, just to give a little bit of context, so Petra's work is going to be, and this might sound strange, but we've labeled all the sites. So Petra's site is going to be at Site 4, and the location is really close to Grand Avenue and Pico, and the building is like extremely long. Like it's like a piece that you can't really, almost like when you're standing in front of it, you have to move your head from left to right, because it's like this like extremely exaggerated like landscape piece. And so you enter into this world physically. You're bringing the audience into this world. Yeah,
and because of the dimensions of the building, it just made sense to do kind of a panoramic landscape. It just seemed to be the thing to do. I don't know. I mean,
I think that you landed on that. Like, I totally see that, because when I started you were sharing with me some of the images from it, it just like has such a really great harmony.
Yeah.
Because you really have utilized that building site specifically within like the selection of like, you know, the choice of the camera angles and everything that you've been, yeah.
Yeah, and I work on a really like super wide screen as well. So that also like helps a lot because it almost looks like it's such a similar dimension really to the building.
Can you talk a little bit about your process and like how you are building this technically?
There's a software that I use. It's like a landscape building software in Steam. It's just like really simple. I mean, it's almost, I don't know. I like to use a lot of defaults in it. You can do very custom things, but I also like to just always, like defaults are a big part of my work. I always like to push a program as much as possible to like with the choices allotted. It's just been kind of like a theme throughout all of my video work ever, really. I always like to, it's kind of like a game, like how can I use the most basic stuff to make something my own. So it's entertaining for me to do, and it's just building this terrain. You can add the film is like screen recordings of me of worlds that I've built, and then also like in the process of building as well. So it kind of goes in and out of like finished things in process, very slowly, very dreamily.
And the loop that you basically, this film runs for sequentially, like for 12 minutes or?
It's 25 minutes, okay. And there's kind of two worlds that it goes back and forth from. And it's not like a heavy narrative at all. It's very, very open.
Ambient.
And exactly. And just sort of, because it's, again, like you said, when you're projecting so big, there's not fast movements. There's there's a lot of time for people to sort of like look, but then also maybe have a conversation and then look again, and things have slightly changed, but it's not like this, it's not a heavy narrative where you're supposed to like watch straight on for the entire time. That's okay. It is very ambient.
Yeah, but that's also beautiful because you're slowing time down and you're allowing people in this very like frenetic energy of, you know, being in downtown and sort of like all of the different influences to take a pause.
Yeah, well, also it's like, there's going to be anything in public with like people, and you know, people will be talking, and I thought about what I would like to see, and especially if you're going with friends or something, I think it's nice to be able to talk to people and also like be able to kind of take something in, but not, sometimes when things have like too heavy of a narrative, then you feel like, oh, you can't talk or you'll miss something, and I just didn't want that added pressure for anyone. I just wanted just peace. And, yeah.
That's awesome. That's maybe a little bit of
maybe
the
that's
mother
what
part
I
of it.
that's what I you're like, I really need.
Okay. So I'm just gonna wrap up right now, but is there anything that you wanted to share in terms of like, you know, what you want the audience to be able to take away, or, you know, connection with the title of the exhibition, Landscape Frequencies? Like, is there anything that you want to sort of share with everybody before they get to come and experience what you've created?
No, I just hope everyone has a nice night, and I don't like to necessarily, I'm always so hesitant to like have any expectations for what people take out of it, because I think that's one of the best parts of art, is that it can be very, very personal, and you maybe if someone tells you what to think, it's like the best part is just when people can like kind of draw their own conclusions, and you either feel something or you don't, like either's okay. But
Yeah, no, I totally agree. This is going to be amazing to see this work on the wall. I'm so
I'm really
excited. I'm really excited too. All right, well, thank you everybody so much for joining Petra Cortright. And yeah, we look forward to seeing everybody at LUMINEX. If you would like to learn more about this piece or about the exhibition, you can go onto our website, which is luminexla.com or luminex.la. All right, thank you so much. Have a good night.